discuss this battle over the new EU budget with David Campbell Bannerman. He's a British Conservative member of the European Parliament, joining me live there in London. Well, Prime Minister Cameron basically seems to have given in to Eurosceptics. I know you're among them. You're a prominent former member of the UK Independence Party. Is that the only reason for his tough stance?
No, I salute the Prime Minister, David Cameron, for his tough stance on the budget. He's done this before. He's made it clear he wants a freeze in the EU budget. Others want cuts. I'd like to see the £53 million a day that the EU costs Britain to be actually repatriated to the UK. But I'd salute his position. It's the right position. I think others have to bend, not David Cameron.
He's in a very difficult position, though, isn't he? What happens if there is no agreement over this budget? Running out of time, only got, what, 2 weeks now before the EU summit. What are the consequences for the UK?
Well, I think it's a ridiculous proposition to be raising the EU budget. That's what the Commission wants, up to 6%, even more, at a time when everyone is seeing cuts all around Europe, especially in Greece and Spain. There's real pain in those countries. So what on earth is the EU doing trying to raise the budget and spending money on things like film prizes and a museum of European history, which starts after the Second World War, strangely. There's a lot of waste in the system, and there's no excuse for actually increasing the budget. A freeze is the minimum we can expect, and David Cameron's right to push for that.
And you want him to push for that because his intransigence could lead to, what, a pathway for the UK to leave the European Union? That's what you want, isn't it?
Well, it is what I want. My view is that we'd be better off, Britain would be better off with a Swiss-style free trading arrangement with the EU. That's my personal view, rather than full membership. I think what's happening, I mean, Angela Merkel is quoted today saying that she wants the Commission, the European Commission, to form a government, but it will take time to persuade people, is what she's talking about. Well, we don't need that time. We do not want to be part of a political union or a federal union, as Barroso is now planning. We want just the trading relationship. And I think it's going to force the issue. I think the choice is going to become, do you want the full political union, or do you want a trading relationship like Switzerland? And that's what the referendum should be about.
But wouldn't there be a negative reaction from EU member countries towards Britain if it did leave, and actually trade would be affected? And that's surely not what the UK can afford during these tough economic times.
Well, the UK's economy is actually showing signs of recovery. Thankfully, it's not great, but no one's great, but it's better than the EU average. And let's not forget, we're a huge importer of goods and services from the EU. We're their largest customer. It's £3 billion every month, more in goods and services being imported into the UK than exported to the rest of the EU. So I think we're in a strong position for a trading relationship, and we really don't want to get into this political union, which is totally against what the British people want.
What sort of support are you getting amongst the British people with your stance?
Well, it's very warm, actually. I mean, I represent, according to polls, the majority of the British people, regardless of being left or right. It's not a left-right thing. It is about democracy. Polls indicate about 54% of the British people want to actually withdraw from the EU. It's 2/3 of my own party, the Conservative Party. So it's a very strong feeling. We need, obviously, a trading relationship to be put in place. But, you know, under the Lisbon Treaty, under Article 50, it requires the EU to actually have an agreement with any member state, it might be Britain, that actually leaves the EU, and that probably means a free trade agreement.
David Campbell Bannerman, British Conservative MEP, joining me live there in London. Thank you very much.